Oh, yeah, that is cool. Yeah. And cheap. $6.58 on Lowe's here.
Yeah, it adds up, when you got when,
I guess
when you've gone straight Griswold, you're like, I need 30 of these. So,
I guess it's a good job they are only $6.58.
Full Griswold.
Welcome to the Not Null Podcast. I'm just an AI voice. But here are your real hosts, Kevin Doyle, Sarah Kimmel, and Bobby Davis.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Not Null Podcast, the tech podcast where we talk about everything from AI to VR and robots to flying cars. I'm Kevin Doyle, and this week I'm joined by Sarah Kimmel and Bobby Davis. Coming up in this week's episode, fake social media influencers are making way too much money. Is iOS 17 NameDrop a feature that is a security issue? Apparently the cops think so. And Turbotax is getting Gen AI, and they're going to be using that in your next tax refund process. And we'll finish up with our null, not null recommendation section. So before we jump into our stories this week, I want to ask you guys, we're just post Thanksgiving here in the US, and we've had Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Anybody buy anything this year interesting? Or were the deals just lame?
I don't know if the deals are lame, but I was in the stores buying Christmas yard decorations. We redid our yard. So lights and full Griswold. So
Full Griswold.
I like it.
So Black Friday, I don't usually shop. I mean, my husband has worked in retail adjacent forever. He worked at Best Buy for 10 years. So he's always had to work Black Friday. And he's a bit of a Grinch. So that's when I take the opportunity to decorate my house. So I go full decorations on Black Friday. And that has been my tradition for many, many, many moons.
I like it. Probably better than
we're
going
on the same page. We did them both the same thing. It's just I was in the store first.
Right.
But,
you had to buy all the decorations. I already had my decorations.
You're brave going to the store on Black Friday, though. Although I did see a lot of social media this year around Black Friday showing the stores empty. There was some Best Buy videos on TikTok and some Target videos on TikTok where there was somebody at Target were there when it opened up, and they were the only people there waiting for it to open up.
Yeah,
really?
Definitely not busy. I was in Home Depot, and then my funny story from Home Depot is I was in there trying to buy this yard ornament thing, and it says Easy Find Y21. So I go to this person that's sitting there in the orange vest and said, "Hey, I want Y21." She goes, "Nope." I'm like, "What do you mean, nope? It says Easy Find. Where is it? It's not here." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not here?" And then she couldn't find it. And then I had to go on the app and show her on the app, or you just type in Y21 on the app, and went over there and found it. It was like training Home Depot people here. Use the app. Clearly she was hired for the season, and clearly she didn't want to be there.
I love that her answer is just nope.
Nope.
She's like, hard pass. I'm not gonna do that.
I don't know none of this stuff is. It's not here. Don't buy it, leave. I mean, that's kind of the vibe I got, it was kind of funny.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
I have a Home Depot story, actually, thinking about Black Friday Home Depot. I bought I think it was a Nest thermostat once from Home Depot. And I bought it about a week before Black Friday, and it went on sale. And I hadn't installed it yet. I still had it in the box all new and everything. And I hadn't installed it. And it went on sale on Black Friday. So I went in and I was just like, hey, can I can you guys price match me this item for Black Friday? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, hold on, can I return this item? They're like, yeah. Yes. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to return it then. They're like, well, you can't return it now. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't return it? No, you can't return it. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go to another Home Depot then and return it. What are we talking about here? Just either price match it or return this one and sell me the new one at the cheap price. Because it was $80 difference. I'm just like, yeah, they did not want to be helpful towards me. But they eventually did. The manager had to override it, and he was not pleased. Sorry.
So, okay, I'm gonna defend the manager for just a second.
Go for it, please do.
Because I work for a Wi-Fi router company, and we have a sale for, we had a sale for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? And it was a significant discount. And somebody emails in that they bought it in October, and had they known it was going to go on sale, in November, they wouldn't have bought it then. And I'm like, who doesn't know crap goes on sale in November? Like,
did you need it in October? That's my question. If you needed it, you needed it. That's just the way it is.
Right. I'm just
That's
like,
true.
who doesn't understand that it's going to go on sale at Black Friday? Like, everything goes on sale. If you have to buy something October 30th, just give it a couple weeks if you can wait. Like, so I get where the manager's coming from there, where you're just like, dude, seriously? Like, everybody knows it's going to go on sale right now. Why did you buy it 2 weeks ago?
And I understand it too, but I did. so for me, like, so it doesn't matter. I did. It doesn't matter why or like how I did. And
it's
now
still in the wrapper, so you didn't use it. It's
no,
fair
exactly.
game.
I hadn't even opened it. Like it was like a brand new item. Like it hadn't even opened it, and I had the receipt and everything. I'm just like, I'm gonna save like $80. I'm gonna save $80. Like it was like around the corner from me too. I'm like, I'm not gonna like, I didn't go out of my way like intentionally to do it that way. It just happened that way.
Sure.
And it's so it's just like, oh, okay, I'll go save myself $80 and get the Black Friday deal.
Yeah. I do refund people. I did refund people the difference because same thing. They could return it because we have a 90-day money back guarantee. So they could return it and then buy it for sale. And that just costs me more money. So, but again, I was annoyed about it though.
Sorry. I guess.
So I feel you, Home Depot manager, dude. I'm with you.
I'm not. Just give me my refund.
Yeah.
I did get, and it came already, which was fast. Cause I got it from, what did I get it from? Amazon. I bought an M2 SSD enclosure, an external enclosure, and a 4 terabyte SSD for it, which was cool. And I saved, it was like $50 off or something for the pair. Still not cheap, but the fact that it's a tiny little disk with 4 terabytes of super fast storage in it is great. It's as fast as the internal, or almost as fast as the internal SSD on the Mac. So kind of cool.
That's fun.
It's the way to go these days.
Here's the other annoyance I have. Everybody yesterday that was like, hey, I had an email over the weekend that this was on sale. Can you give it to me for the sale price now?
No.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
You missed it.
No. That's not acceptable. I mean, I don't think anybody's got a case for that. That's just no.
Yeah,
sorry,
and I'm a hard pass on that. Like,
I mean, we sold our course at a once and only price of like $129 a year. We had people for months. Hey, I saw your video from like 6 months ago. Can I still get the same price? No.
Still today, sometimes we get that.
Early bird pricing, man. Come on. You're not an early bird.
Yeah.
You're a late
some
bird.
people will ask.
A late bird.
People ask. It's a very late bird.
2 years ago.
Okay, let's talk about fake social media influencers. So, and the fact that they're making a lot of money. So the story here from Futurism states that this fake influencer makes $11,000 a month. So this fake influencer was created by a Spanish ad agency called The Clueless, and her name is, I think it's Aitana. It's Aitana is the name of this AI Tana. I think it's Aitana is the name. And she's pitched as a 25-year-old pink-haired woman from Barcelona.
Which I take personal offense to. I mean, they obviously modeled her after me. So
they've seen this. They know what they're doing. There you go. She has 168,000 followers on Instagram, by the way. And allegedly makes $11,000 a month. And I say allegedly because we'll talk about that in a second. But that amount is apparently through brand deals, which interesting. You can have a brand deal for something that's an AI that's completely artificial. This person does not exist. That's what we're talking about here. And something called FanView, which is apparently an OnlyFans clone. Where they post.
Now we know where the 11,000 came from, Kevin.
Yeah,
right?
Where they post where they post salacious pictures of this artificial person. Weird. I don't know. Weird. I don't even know what it's talking. I mean, it's just weird. So the other part of this story talked about, which was interesting, which is kind of a tangent to this, was that a well-known unnamed Latin American actor with apparently 5 million followers or more texted this person or DM'd them, I guess, on Instagram, being like, "Hey, what's up? Like, you interested in like hooking
slid
up?"
into her DMs.
oh, geez, like, dude, it's not a real person. And here's the thing: if you actually go look at
Catfish.
her, we're going to go look at her Instagram. I may have actually blurred this slightly because it's a
You
little
need to blur
salacious.
some of those.
It's a little salacious, but I want to concentrate on his what's up here at the top. It shows like a little bio for her, and it shows collabs with @CluelessAI, which should be your first thing, your first clue here, and then it also shows AI model hashtag in here. So, it's kind of a giveaway. Then when you go look at her link tree here, which I'll show, they have other social medias, but the one that stands out here is supplements. This is a supplement link. It's literally like brand link. It's like, wow. But the other one here is Clueless Agency.
Yeah.
And this takes us back to this company, The Clueless, which is the marketing firm behind this AI. And guess what they're selling? They're selling an AI model that you can have as a rep for your company. So this is a proof of concept, which makes me question the $11,000 a month claim. Like, how benefiting is that for them just to say, like, we made one as a sample and it makes $11,000 a month? Does it? I don't know that it really does. Maybe it does. I don't know. That just seems like an excessive amount of money for an unrealistic thing, but maybe not. Maybe like Bobby said, with the fan view angle, maybe not.
There's a catfish born every day, apparently. So that's the thing.
Apparently so. So, Sarah, what do you think? Any interest in getting a model, an AI model for your next startup?
No, I am not interested. But because the thing is, so she's obviously modeled completely after me. The body, the hair, everything is.
You're just claiming it at this point.
She's
okay.
like my twin. I'm looking in the mirror.
Yep.
So personally, offended. But the reason I follow, and I'm also offended by the fact that like I'm pulling teeth to get above like 20,000 Instagram followers or like, things like that. And here's like a fake person just like, oh, look, I've got 150,000. Like, that drives me crazy. I mean, it drives me crazy when some like 18-year-old starts like posting and like automatically gets like a zillion followers too. But, and here I am like trying to educate people and, I like get one follower like a week. So that part really annoys me just from an influencer standpoint. But the reason I follow people is because I want their take. Like, so there's several different lawyers that I follow, like on YouTube and things like that. And I will watch all of their videos about the exact same cases because I want to know what they say about what happened in this courtroom. And I want to know what this person says and this person. So I'm literally watching the same courtroom, like, experience like 4 different times because I'm watching it with this person and then with this person and then with this person because I want their individual take. And so I think when you have all of these like AI generated people, like where does that go? Like if everything's just AI generated, there's nobody I want to follow.
Yeah, they have no real opinion, right? They have no value add here. It's not like it's a real person who you can ask a question of that can actually influence something. It's just, I don't know, add a picture and slap a label on it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand even the selling the supplements thing. It just seems nuts.
Is it impressive that they got the face right between pictures? It seems like they can keep it consistent.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because it is
hard
very
to
consistent.
like get it consistent from picture.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's difficult, but I would say that it's like, it's not your run of the mill kind of like generative AI. Like you can't slap the same prompt into Midjourney and get the same thing out of it. They're using a specific model that they've probably custom tailored to make their own, or they're using some sort of plugin for it of some kind. There are ways you can do it, but these ones are particularly good examples because they do look very realistic. This is the thing. They are, even though it's AI gen, they are very realistic and very consistent. So they're doing something right.
Do they show her
what's
hands
the usage?
I don't. No,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to scroll, but we're not going to show this. No, they don't look. There is one right here. There is one.
I don't even know how you would get your hand like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's weird.
Do that.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you start looking for inconsistencies. There are inconsistencies there. There are.
Yeah, now that I haven't looked at it before the show, and like now as I just scan through there, I can tell you that they are different.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about recognizing AI fakes after you look at it, and you're like, oh yeah, that does kind of fakey.
Yeah.
What I don't like about this is like there's another story out there where this guy had a conference and he was doing the same thing. He was making fake bios for people coming to the conference in order to convince real speakers to come to his tech conference.
Yeah.
And then these people would quit.
They would pull out the last minute.
Right before the conference started, and you'd get these other speakers. And there's some people that we know in the industry, well-known people that were going to it. And then they were like, I'm not going to this. It's because it was all women speakers, all bios, and you can imagine.
Yep.
Kind of like this. They probably used Clueless. I don't know if they did or not. But like, and then suddenly these people quit. They're not real people. And what I do like about this, that and Sports Illustrated, or I think Sports Illustrated was called out over
it was
the same kind of thing where they had AI generated content. People are like, I'm not buying the magazine, man. If you can't put any more effort in that. And I do like the fact that this is being called out quickly. In other words, we're not going through the era of like, is it real? Is it not real? We're just like, that ain't real. Well, and I don't know.
But they're also not trying to pass it off as real, really.
Which is in their favor. I will give them props for that. Like, we are doing this and this isn't real.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's people out there that slide into the DMs think she is real.
I will also say,
Clearly.
Don't forget, this is a proof of concept, and they are pushing a product. So, of course, they've got to push the product. My guess is their customers aren't always up front.
No.
My guess is we're going to see at some point in the future, we're going to see some brand is going to get called out for having an AI model who has not declared that it's an AI model. They're just going to get caught out doing it when something weird happens with a hand or something, and somebody's like, whoa, hold on a minute. You know, the progressive lady isn't really real. You know, like,
Exactly.
It's going to be something crazy like that, and it's, who knows? Sorry, I'm not trying to call out progressive for doing this, but it could be any brand. But,
I do think that brands run a risk doing this, and people do not like the fact when you fool them. They don't like it, except on April Fool days. For some reason, we can say anything we want, and everyone's okay with it, except for Kevin. Kevin gets angry.
I hate it.
But
we don't.
In general, if you feel like you've been duped, it's going to backfire on all these brands that do it. And Sports Illustrated at the same time writing content, and they're like, man, if you're not going to employ writers, like, what's the point of the magazine? So right. I do like that part of our society where we're just pushing back on this. And as society, we're getting like increasingly quick about pointing out fakes, where we thought before, like, everything's going to be fake. We don't know if we can do it. Like a lot of people are just figuring out, except for this one well-known actor who gets duped every day.
Well, it's funny that you pointed out her name. I didn't catch that before, how it's like AI Taya or whatever. It just reminds me of the TV show Psych, when he's like, you're going to name your fake detective agency Psych?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but again, they're selling a product, so I get it. They have to be on the nose about it, but I guarantee their customers aren't. They've sold some of these already. I will put money on the fact that a company is already using one of these somewhere. They may not be a giant like Fortune 500 brand. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I guarantee there's a company out there somewhere now using one of these AI things that is not disclosing this an AI model.
Well, Threads and Twitter have been doing this for years. It's just that been using AI to generate. They would steal a picture and say it's this person, and then try to create a social media account in and around it, and then create a bot that sends out 10 million tweets a day, and then attract a following somehow. We see it in our space about coding, where it's just like coder person. You can tell right away they're not real. Like, these aren't real people. These are bots doing it, and now you can just put a photo up. And even now it's more acceptable to have an avatar. It's even get worse where you can just put an avatar up. People accept that, and like, it's just a bot behind it. It's not real. So.
Yeah. Speaking of those bots, like the thing I talked about last week, the scam bait, most of them I've been seeing recently, they like will say some like answer, like, so if it's like a Facebook Marketplace sale or something, they respond back like, what's the like, is it like functional or whatever? And the person responds, no, it's completely broken, and whatever. And the like response is, okay, great. Like, when can I send somebody? Like, oh my gosh, you're clearly not a real person. reading this and responding. It's just like sending automatic responses to what he's talking about.
Easy. To me, I just like it looks to. I do worry about our society in general when OnlyFans makes this money, fake pictures. It's just weird. I mean, like to me, like
that is weird. I agree.
It's just, I mean, society's going downhill. We need to I don't know. I don't want to pass the offering plate right now, but like I'm just saying, like, we need to.
We can't even trust the porn sites anymore. That's what we're saying now. If Paul was here, that's what he'd be saying.
Right.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
Well, that also go ahead.
Good. No, go ahead.
It just reminds me of that NPC thing that you showed us before too. Like nobody cares that that's a real person. You could make an AI generated person do the exact same thing and rake in millions of dollars.
Yes.
For what? Like nothing. It is nothing.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. We're in for an interesting next couple of years.
I will say this: I would bet if you went to OnlyFans, not everyone makes money on that site. It's like everything else. Like there's some few at the very top, and there's a lot of people out there doing. I have read some stories about this, where yes, the average was like hundreds of dollars. Was the average, and you get the people that are claiming they make millions or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure it's like everything. All of these things that. The content is very much like the 1%, right? Or use probably the 0.1% on something like that. This isn't even on there. This is on some generic thing. And I'm guessing maybe this other, what was the fan view order it was called? Maybe they have like rules around or aren't strict on AI rules or something, I'm guessing. I don't know. But maybe there's less rules there, which is why it's on there and not on not on OnlyFans. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing brand deals with this. I guess their AI can generate the model wearing a shirt or holding the cup or something.
Well, it's not right now, but I told you the link is to a supplement like site on the link tree. Okay. So maybe that's the brand deal that they have. Yeah,
it's just an affiliate link where they just click on that link because they go to her link tree and.
Right.
Well, the story did claim that they were paid $1,100 for a month for one of the links. So which if you have 168,000 followers, yeah, sure, I could see that being a. It's not. That's
is this the new banner ad? Is that what we're doing? Trying to like sell space in my link trees?
Yeah,
okay,
it is.
I get it.
It is, but you've got to have 200,000 followers, or more. Right. Like once you've got 1 million followers, a link on your link tree now has value.
Okay,
so. Clawing my way there, one at a time.
Exactly.
I'll be there so soon.
This is my favorite story of the week. The story about the new iOS 17 feature, NameDrop, which was released in September, actually. Isn't new at all. But why we're talking about this now, I have no idea. I'm going to be extremely cynical about this story. I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. I have no compassion for this story at all. It's like...
I have no love for Apple, and I have no compassion for this story at all.
So police departments across the country have been warning parents about Apple's new iPhone iOS 17 feature. So you may have seen this story over the past week or so. We've seen it pop up a lot in the last couple of days here. We're recording this on Wednesday, the 29th. Over the last couple of days, these stories have been popping up on mainstream news sites, local news a lot, and a lot of Facebook pages from police departments. So I'm going to show you a few of these because I was able to find a few different examples of this where they've shown up on Facebook. So this is the earliest one that I could find. This is Longwood Police Department, but I'm not sure this is where it actually originated. I can't find the origination of this story, and I'll tell you why I don't think there is an origination of this story. 26.
That seems pretty close to the start of it.
Yeah, I think it is. But I will say, I'm not sure this is the first one to post it. I'm not sure there is a first one to post it. And I'll tell you why I think that here in a second. But police departments have basically posted that they are warning parents of dangers to children as the primary driver for this, which is just weird out of the gate. That the new iOS 17 feature called NameDrop allows you to have your credentials stolen from your phone. Your contact details will just be ripped off your phone. There's also a TikTok going around where somebody's saying if you leave your phone, specifically in a gym for some reason, if you leave your phone in a gym, somebody can just steal your contact details off it using this same NameDrop feature. And everybody's picked up on this. Local news, these police stations, everything have. So I'll just say the first thing is let me just educate every police department out there, because apparently they have no idea what they're talking about. So and why they keep like posting this, I have no idea. But let me just say, this entire story discounts 3 levels of security that this thing has. Let me say that 3 levels, right? Firstly, the phones almost have to touch. If you've ever used NFC on a phone, which is what this uses, they almost have to touch. We're talking about within an inch, 2 inches at most. If you are not that close, this feature will not work. And on an iPhone, they have to be about an inch away. So you have to be that close, okay? Which, okay, I get it. Both phones have to be unlocked. You cannot walk up to somebody's phone in the gym that is locked and sneak their things off it, no matter what police departments say. Third, you have to push a confirmation button on the screen, whether you want to share one way or 2 ways. So this thing literally has 3 levels of security. If anything, it's more secure than 90% of the rest of the features on the phone. But why they've just jumped into this and they have this angle around parents using this feature and turning it off, I have no idea. Because here's another couple of police departments. Look, on Facebook pages. Here's another one. This is the Dighton Police Department. I don't know where this is. Massachusetts. There was another Massachusetts one too, this Andover. But I tell you what's interesting. I don't know where this originated, where they copy and pasted this, but every one of these uses very, very, very similar text, to the point where wherever it originated from, they've either copied it or they've been told to post this, is my just tin hat foil conspiracy theory.
I mean, there could be a sheriff's association that demonstrates information. I mean, it could be something like that, a sheriff's association or something like that that's doing this.
But we don't know what that source is. That's what I'm saying. I can't find whatever that source is. All I can find is the earliest one posted being this one, November 26th at 10 a.m. And it's the longest kind of version of this. But the rest, you can tell this parents line right here is the same in every single one of these. Look, it's like, and Sarah, I'm going to ask you, because like obviously it's kind of your business doing this. Do you understand the parent angle of this at all?
I understand why it goes viral, because everybody is like, won't somebody please think of the children? And anything that so in my platform, I do not buy into fear mongering. Like, that is one thing that drives me absolutely insane. And so many of the other parenting tech influencers hop on this kind of stuff so fast. And that's how it spreads like wildfire, because these parenting influencers see something like this. They don't test it out for themselves, which is something I always do. So at the beginning of the school year, there was a big to-do about the Saturn app. And everybody's warning everybody about the Saturn app and how it's open to all these people. So what do? I download the Saturn app. I see exactly what I can do and everything like that before I'm going to say anything to anybody else about it. And that's one thing that people don't do. They just they see this, they think, gotta warn parents, and then they just copy and paste and they don't test it. And it is
And that's validated by the way, if we just scroll down in all of these stories, it's validated by everybody here just saying, thank you, thank you, thanks, thank you, great service, thank you.
Yeah. And so many, so I the main thing I use Facebook for is groups. I love all my Facebook groups. I have a ton of Facebook groups that I go into, and so many of them, cause a lot of them are parenting and whatever. Somebody will post something like exactly this. And I have to, I go in and comment every time. Hey, so this really isn't the security issue that you think it is. They have to be practically touching, blah, 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 blah. So stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is fear mongering 101.
Yeah. What I don't like about this is they attach this feature in particular to child trafficking. Yeah.
Right.
This is the feature that gets your child trafficked, and I'm thinking the whole time, if you thought this thing was child trafficking, everyone is complaining about what they got to do to their iPhone. I'm like, wouldn't you throw your iPhone in the trash? I mean, like, we're getting rid of that.
Bobby,
that's the trafficking phone.
They're
Let's
never
just get rid
gonna
of it.
do that.
No, I need my blue bubbles.
Right.
Blue bubbles are more important than your child safety.
I'm in Malaysia next week. Okay, as long as I can
100%.
text.
100%.
I don't understand it. And then the other thing too is the lack of like technical acumen is the other thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
As a technology person, me and Kevin sent this. We talked way too much about this when I sent this to you.
Well, yeah, because you
Kevin's
sent
like,
it to me the other day, just like a hey, have you seen this? And I'm just like, my first instinct, I can't remember exactly what I typed back to you, but I was just like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Do they even understand this? I thought,
No,
here's
they
what
don't.
I thought. I thought the feature had been hacked.
Yeah.
And it was
Right,
like a
that's what
whole
I
other
thought,
like
yeah,
hacking
yeah.
thing where it's like, oh man, somebody's hacked like NameDrop. It's like, wow, this is crazy. What's happening? No. It's just that it's on by default. That's the story. Like, I don't understand
and then
it.
having Bluetooth on is more dangerous than NameDrop.
Yeah.
So like you can
Right,
be
having
Bluetooth-
Wi-Fi on
yeah,
is
Wi-Fi's the
10
other one.
times
that-
more dangerous than having this on.
So this police department sheriff that's whatever's putting this out probably walks into a Starbucks with his Wi-Fi on and could get man-in-the-middle attacked in like 82 seconds. So it's like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about, man? We're talking about
Yeah.
NameDrop, and this thing has, like you said, NFC, near field communication, has to be close. You can't steal it, you have to acknowledge it. It's, even if you think about it, if the phone's not unlocked, it can't launch the app anyway. So it has to unlock. And then when it does it, it says, okay, I think this is a NameDrop. And it says, is this what you want to do? And you can say yes or no. No, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it figures out if you're trying to pay with it. I'm not sure what it does.
Put it this way, Apple's not going to put out something like this that would be
No.
that insecure. They're just
No.
not. There's no way they're going to be open to that level. I'm sure they've got to be at Apple HQ now just scratching their heads being like, what could we have done different?
Yeah.
Like, how could we have done this any different?
Nothing.
Who did we make mad at the
Nothing.
Sheriff Association? Calling the head of marketing and John,
Yeah.
get in there. Did you
Yeah.
yell at the sheriffs again?
Did you pay that speeding ticket?
Like, what happened?
And like I said, I'm like the first person to hop on like an Apple bashing train, but this is not the train I'm getting on because
No.
it's completely ridiculous.
So Google had something similar to this, but then they've taken it out where you could like bang the phones together. I remember they were showing that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And like in Google like fashion, they like buried it under 14 menus and you can't find it, don't know how to turn it on. Was the other
It'll be
problem.
back now. It's
Yeah.
made mainstream news. They'll have a
Yeah.
better, more secure version now. And you're like, why wouldn't
More
you?
secure. Like,
Yeah,
how do you
exactly.
get even more secure than it already
I don't
is?
know.
The
I
best
don't
thing out of this is the name of the thing, NameDrop. I mean, like, that's such a good,
good
name.
name.
I mean, like, so good. I mean, like, it's so good.
Yeah.
If only Microsoft could name things that good. Can't imagine what not,
True.
Contact Exchange Pro.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bobby,
it would be.
you're going to need to get royalties on that because they will 100% take.
But they wouldn't use the word exchange. It'd be like X or something, Contact EX.
No, they would
D3.
use exchange because it's a very long word. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
There you
The
go.
And they do love that word. They do love that word. Here's what else I would say that kind of annoyed me about this story too. The first comment on this particular story was somebody basically educating them, saying like,
Sure.
"Hey, this is not how it works. Here's how it works." The response from the police department wasn't like, "Oh, okay, you've educated me. I'll take this story down. Clearly, it's junk." No. It was to double down with the comment that says, "From a crime prevention status, we often find that high-tech pirates often have ways to manipulate these types of options when they are set to continually on." Like, dude, okay, replace Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, any kind of communication network with the same comment, and what are you going to do? Turn everything off? You turn your phone off? Like, it makes no sense. But so yeah, they double down on
Personally-
it because they don't like to be told what to do. So
I just want to educate users out there. The most dangerous thing you can do from a cybersecurity standpoint is use public Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
In the hotel, in the Starbucks, in the whatever.
Yep.
I can promise you it is so easy once you're on the same network as someone else to hack your device.
I always use a hotspot. Always.
Never use public Wi-Fi if
Yeah.
if you're worried about any information at all. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but
Not
true.
crazy.
Just know-
It's just the way it is.
That's fact.
I just know
That's
how it
fact.
works. So like, don't do it. And then so like they're saying, turn this thing off, and then everyone's walking around with their Wi-Fi set all the time. And the first thing they do is ask to get on the Wi-Fi. And people think I'm crazy, but people come to my house. Hey, what's your Wi-Fi password? I'm like, we don't have one.
Yeah.
What? We don't have Wi-Fi here. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we don't have it. It's like, they're like, why don't you have Wi-Fi? I'm like, I do. I just can't give you out the password. Like, why? And I'm like, I can't have your unsecured phone on my network, man.
Right.
I mean, like, you're bringing stuff in. I don't want it. You know, like, you shouldn't want it either. So,
Right.
you know, if you go to some guy's house and he's like nefarious or whatever, some guy you don't know at a party and says, hey, what's the public Wi-Fi? They could have things to hack your phone immediately.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, that's why the party's there, to hack all the phones. That's why he has it.
Could be. Yeah.
Obviously.
Cancels the fake influencers before the party, though. They didn't show up.
I did, like, in researching this too, there was another couple of angles that I saw as
Yeah.
well. One of them was a misunderstanding about how it actually, like, worked too, and the information that it shared as well. So this thing exploded went off in all kinds of angles. There was people on TikTok talking about how it, like, shared your entire address book with the person getting it. That's not how NameDrop works in any shape or form. You can never do that. And then all your photos.
All my friends are now vulnerable.
Yeah, and all your photos. They can download all your photos across it. And like, no, they can't. it's just, I don't know.
I think it's phone number, email, and
It's whatever is in your contacts. Like you can choose like your contact card, basically, whatever you're sharing. It's basically, it's your phone, email, like a picture of you if you have that in there, or an avatar or whatever you have. That's it. It's like when you just send somebody your contact card. Yeah. Same thing over SMS or whatever, or iMessage. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Same info.
So Kevin and I were reading the comments on a site that we're not going to mention, but we were reading the comments from all these people doing it. And one guy says, this is crazy. Apple is like, they're trying to take over. He says, I never do this. What I have is a QR code, and I bring up on demand, and I share the QR code with my information in it. And I'm thinking, I hate to tell you this, buddy, but that QR is attached to a website. So, like, okay, you have a QR code for your contacts on a website somewhere.
He feels
it's
more
so much
secure.
more secure, Bobby.
Exactly.
More
but he
secure.
felt more secure putting it on a website than he did turning on this thing and having an Apple device.
Yeah. But he still had an iPhone. So
Of course.
what are we talking about, man?
But he had this thing turned off.
I turned this off, buddy.
Now I'm safe.
Okay.
I'm safe now.
There was another guy in that same thread who thought he was very safe because he was still using an iPhone 7.
Oh, geez.
Like, dude, you're literally the opposite of safe.
There are security patches that you are not getting.
Now, this is going to make you laugh, Sarah. The other guy, the same guy in the same conversation, he says, and this is why I never upgrade my router. I win by being obsolete. We're like, dude, you know what WPA is? It's like,
and they weren't kidding. They were genuinely this was genuine. This is what they thought.
In fact, I just bought a really old router, and they gave it to me on a deal. I'm like, I bet they did.
I'm sure
they can't sell them otherwise. You're the only idiot buying them. So.
Yeah.
I bought a Windows XP machine for like $10.
Secure.
I do all my banking on it.
Through obsoletus. That's what he said.
It's like literally the worst.
Right? The moral of this story, I guess, is don't get your information from somebody who has zero idea about what they're talking about. And unfortunately, that can also be police departments when they're talking about technology. Just because it's on their police site does not make it true. Sorry, it doesn't.
And then the other one is Mr. Captain Obvious down here. Don't lend your phone to a stranger. Yeah. Okay. That's exactly right.
Who's like, okay, sure.
Hey, can I borrow your phone for a week, Kevin?
Yeah.
What's the 4 digits to get in? I just need it.
I'll get right on that. Oh my
So
gosh.
Weird. Such a strange story. Such a strange thing to blow up.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, it's not even new. It came out last month,
right?
2 months ago.
2 months ago,
right? Yeah.
It's so weird, and it's so scheduled and so on purpose and so widespread.
Yep.
I don't get it. There's somebody behind this. They don't like Apple.
Well, I mean, like I said, I have no love lost for Apple, but I'm not jumping on a fear mongering bandwagon. That's what I'm not going to be doing
And
it.
honestly, man, if you're in here in the US and you're thinking, hey, I'm not buying an Apple device because of reasons, but you'll buy random Chinese Android device, it's like, what are we talking about?
Well,
Well, that was
Like,
one of the reasons a lot of people were like, oh, Apple's tied in with China. I'm never buying that. I guarantee you the device you're buying is from China. I don't care what you're
built to
buying.
spec from Apple. Like there's a if they want to make them, they have to make them a certain way. You can tell. Every iPhone is exactly the same.
I live on Lenovo. Lenovo's company's headquarters is in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the standard. There's no getting away from it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can go live in the woods with your ham radio. That's what you can do. That's the only way you can
Obsoletism.
exactly. That's the only way you're not going to be subject to this.
Security to obsoleteness.
Oh
That's
my
it.
gosh.
It's so old it's secure.
See, well, okay, and this is what bothers me, like, about parenting tech influencers that don't understand technology. Like, they just had a kid, they have a teenager, and they've like done some research, so they feel like they know enough to like warn people about stuff like this, but they don't understand the technology. And that drives me crazy. I'm like, why does this person have 100,000 followers when, like, I am an IT manager? I know about technology. They had a porn addiction, and that's why they're an influencer. Like, that is. Sorry. Anyway,
Yeah. No,
I'll
I'm
get
with
off
you.
my
It's crazy.
soapbox.
That's
But I think
the world we
if
live
parents are listening to us and are out there, you need to read about bluejacking and man-in-the-middle attacks with Wi-Fi before you worry about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. in. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
And then you'll just turn off Wi-Fi and you'll turn off Bluetooth if that's what you want to do.
You'll take the phones away from your children. You'll never let them out of the house again. You'll move to the woods. You get a ham radio, and there you go. You're good to go.
That's
Flip
how you
phones, baby.
save this
Let's go
whole
flip
thing.
phones.
Yeah.
Let's talk about TurboTax. So TurboTax is adding Gen AI to this year's tax returns. I think for 2023 tax returns. This story is actually a couple months old, so this is going to be, I think, in 2023 tax returns. So they unveiled a new generative AI-powered financial assistant called Intuit Assist. Catchy name. It uses a combination of the company's decades of tax prep experience, tax data and documents from the filer, and current tax code. So basically, think of that as being the generative AI's data set, right? So that's what it's using as its set of data. So imagine like a GPT, right? One of the chat GPTs, one of these new GPTs trained on that data, which is pretty much what this is. But in the demo, it's basically taxes in a chatbot interface is what it is. So it allows you to kind of like chat with this virtual AI and prepare your taxes this way. So some of the examples that they shown were, once it understands your situation, it can kind of prompt you for missing documents that you may have. It can read documents, extracts info, and applies those numbers and details to your return. It can match you to a tax expert, which seems like an upsell.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
and they say it can find obvious typos. So if you typed in, the example they showed was like you showed like $35,000 paid in tax on a certain item. It's like, what? We think that's probably more like 3,500 instead of 35,000. You made a typo, right? So it thinks it can do that. So I know my feelings on this, but Bobby, you getting AI taxes this year? Your 2023
No.
taxes?
Never in a million years. This is I think the dumbest idea I've heard of AI generation.
What do you mean? They're so good at math.
Exactly. It can't
Yeah,
do
so
numbers
good at
right.
math.
Well, we live, as we stand here in the United States, which has to be the most complicated tax code on the history of the planet. I mean, like, it is insane. There's no way that this is going to work well. Like, who do they sue when your taxes are filed wrong? Like, you can't. It's your fault. You sign them, and
it's
your
always
document.
you sign them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with this. There's no way I would trust an AI to do my taxes. It's just not going to work at all. And I guarantee you, there'll be disclaimers all over this thing. Don't trust the AI. It can hallucinate. It can do this. And I'm like, well, why do we have it? Taxes, if anything in the U.S., have to be right.
Yes. We haven't fixed the hallucination problem yet. We're jamming our taxes into it.
Right.
It's not happening. So like, and CPAs have to go to constant training. If you're going to file taxes every year, you have to be updated. You have to be certified that you listen to the new tax code and tax laws or whatever. And they're changing all the time. And especially if you're complicated like mine, there's no way this thing could do our taxes, business taxes plus personal plus, whatever else you got. I think if it was run of the mill, straight down the middle, 1040 easy, you can do that anyway. So.
Right, you can do that without.
You don't
AI.
need that with AI. Like,
yeah, yep.
Like 5 boxes you fill in, and then you're like done.
Yep.
But apparently, this is targeted towards complex people. I think Intuit's going to regret doing this. I don't think it's going to work very well.
I agree. I don't think it's going to work very well. I think it's going to make mistakes. And it's going to make mistakes that people aren't necessarily going to catch, and they're going to file their taxes wrong. And then you're right. Who's to blame? I mean, you are.
Or some CPA influencer gets this and finds all the things it does wrong. Say, look what Intuit told me today about taxes. You know, it gets 10 million views and no one uses TurboTax anymore because they can't trust it. Yeah. This is the backlash of AI that I warn against. So you just slap a chatbots on any kind of app.
Yeah.
It
can really hurt your brand.
This is an important one to slap it on, though.
Yeah.
It seems like this is not a chatbot on to help you out to buy something. This is doing your taxes. There are criminal implications if you file incorrect taxes here in the US.
Right.
So here's the thing: if you're not using it, right? Let's say you're doing your taxes yourself, right? And you're using on the thing, and you're on the app and whatever, and you're using this AI thing, whatever. That's one thing. What's to stop the tax preparer using the AI as well?
Here's what I would hope if that's the case. That the taxpayer can discern if the information is right or not coming back. Most of us, when we're filing our taxes, which I gave up filing mine a long time ago, have no idea what's right or what we're missing, or am I in trouble if I don't do this, or the things I forgot. My tax return last year was, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of pages. It was like that thick.
Right.
So it's insane. We write a book every year, you know. Breaking the code, then my tax returns get about the same length.
Yeah, I mean, and you are in a special situation with the company side and having pass through
similar
all that
to what
kind of
I'm
stuff.
in. You know, if you have
true.
write-offs, this is targeted towards people that have complex returns. Otherwise, you wouldn't be using that chatbot. You just fill the form out on TurboTax. And so, if you can't discern the law anyway, like it's not very good for you. I think for tax preparers, maybe. You know, maybe that's pretty good. You know,
I wouldn't want my tax preparer using it though, just because I do feel like they're going to go for a volume play and just try and speed up the process and not do the double check on it. And then it's still up to, because here's the thing, it's still up to the person. So I have a tax preparer do mine. Like I don't like doing them. It's a pain. I just have somebody else do it. It's a couple $100, whatever it is. Like just pay somebody else to do it, and then they worry about that. But you still have to double check it at the end and make sure that what they're claiming on that form is, because you're the one signing it. So I just have this fear like the tax preparers aren't going to be required to declare they've used AI. They're just going to churn out more quicker. You're going to get your tax return not thinking a human's looked at it, when really they've kind of like peripherally looked at it, and they're still going to charge the same amount of money, but now they've used AI to speed up their process. And it's just, I don't know. No, I don't trust it. We know it's so bad with numbers, so bad. You literally still can't ask it to do basic math. It's really bad at doing basic things. So I
that
can't
and just
trust
making
it
up
to do
entire
math
laws. Like here's what you can do.
That's exactly what it did in the court case we talked about several weeks ago. Like it just made stuff up. They're like, oh, this is a law. So like, hey, is there a write-off for like this? Oh yeah, sure. There's totally a write-off for that. Like that personal vacation you took to the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. Like you can totally write that off.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm not a fan at this point. It needs to. I'm a fan if it proves itself to be good. I just don't know that it can be good.
I think this is a big time chance of backlash against Intuit, and you can lose a whole product over this.
Yeah.
If I was running the company, I know they don't ask me these things, I would say, have we tested this? I mean, like how many tax returns have we went through? And what I mean by testing is, here's one that we know is correct.
Yeah.
See what it turns out and do that. I don't know, 100,000 times or 1 million tax repairs that we did last year. Yeah. Compare the results to see what it does. And even then, you know that it can get things wrong. And it shouldn't. Taxes do have laws, and there's certain things it can do, and you shouldn't be able to do. So maybe they've trained these models to the nth degree, and somehow I doubt it.
Yeah, if you're a CPA listening, we had the content idea for you. Just try and see what what
Guaranteed it'll
Intuit
give you bad information.
Assist is going to tell you, and just keep posting those, on shorts or do whatever you want to do. You decide, Mr. CPA.
Let's talk about our recommendations or non-recommendations for this week. Then I have a null to start off with, so I'm gonna jump in with my null first. My null this week is the ESPN app, specifically the ESPN app on a Fire TV stick. So I got a new Fire TV stick. It's the 4K Max or whatever it is, the latest one I upgraded from a regular 4K one to the 4K Max one. Ton more memory on it. It's faster, great, good stuff. I bought these a while back. I just got around to putting the one on the second TV downstairs. And I'm installing the apps, and they do have a great option to restore from backup, which is great. It's like, okay, cool. I can get all my apps downloaded on the same as I had it before. That's cool. It doesn't put them in the same order you had them before, which is annoying. It just downloads them to the stick, which, okay, so I got to rearrange the apps. That's one thing. But you've also got to re-sign into every single app. So Disney, Hulu, ESPN in this case, Paramount, whatever you've got, Peacock, or Netflix, all of them, right? You got to re-sign into all of them. So swimming along, it's great. Paramount, easy. You get a little code, a little scan. You scan the thing on your phone. It takes you to a website. You put in some digits. Cool. Signs you in. Get through all. The Disney is like the creme de la creme of this, by the way. The Disney app, you just download it on the Fire TV stick. You open the app up on your phone, and it instantly links the two. No codes, no pictures, no nothing. It just works. It's like, oh, yeah, I see you're on the same network. I see you have this device signed in. Cool. I'll just sign you in over here, too. Amazing. ESPN. A round of applause for Disney, exactly. ESPN. Jeez. ESPN and ESPN Plus. So
owned by the same company.
Owned by the same company.
Exactly
I know. Because it goes from the best to the worst, and they're the same brand. So the first problem with ESPN is the app itself serves two services, both ESPN Plus and just ESPN. Okay. If you have ESPN Plus, you don't necessarily also have access to the content that's on ESPN. Okay. You only have access to the content that is on ESPN Plus. To get ESPN content, you have to have a cable sign on. So whatever your cable company is, you have to get access to ESPN through, in my case, YouTube TV. So you have to sign in twice to start off with, which, okay, if it was simple, that would work, but it's not simple. It specifically wants you to sign in my case, my YouTube TV, with my Gmail account. It does not give you a quick link. It does not give you a QR code. It does not give you anything other than a keyboard and a box. And it says, type in your username, type in your password.
With the remote control.
With the remote. Now, my Google password is 30-something characters long. It's a mix of uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers, which, by the way, on a Fire TV are 4 different keyboards. So not only do you have to type on the remote, you've got to flick between 4 different keyboards to do this. 15 minutes later, you realize you've typed your password in wrong, right?
Try again.
You got to try again. I was yelling at this TV like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, this is especially because I just gone from installing these other apps and had such great service to having the worst experience ever signing into a device like ESPN. Please, please, please get it together. This is 2023. We don't need to be typing in passwords on a remote anymore. We're past that. That's my null for this week.
So I think because I do Hulu Live, like that's my cable subscription, and I get all the ESPN Plus content in my Hulu app. So like I don't have to sign in to ESPN app. Like,
that's
all
nice.
of that content is just within Hulu. So I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, YouTube TV doesn't do that. They don't have that as an option. It's just
right, because Hulu is owned by Disney and
Yep.
ESPN. It's all the same company.
Which makes sense.
Right.
Apparently different dev teams.
Yeah, definitely different dev teams.
100% different dev teams. 100%. But half the reason is signing in twice is the part of the problem, right? Because you have to sign in with your legacy cable TV provider. Because and the problem here is cable TV. They still have this monopoly on ESPN being a thing, despite the fact that you have this ESPN Plus app through this other service. Because sometimes if you sign into ESPN Plus but don't sign into ESPN, and you try and watch something on the app that's just on ESPN, it says, no, you don't have access to that. you haven't signed in with your cable provider. I'm like, what do you mean? I've signed in with ESPN Plus. Do I not get everything? Nope. No, you do not.
It's plus, Kevin.
It's plus.
Plus.
Yeah.
But only
You don't get the
plus.
regular content. You only get the above content.
Yeah. So bad.
It's not an add-on.
Right. You would think with the plus symbol that it's additional, but no, it's just different.
Additional
Just
but separate.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same app.
Separate but
Same app,
equal.
but different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So confusing. Okay, so I know you guys have got some not knows this week. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, sure. So I was looking every week. I'm like looking around my desk. What do I use all the time? And the thing that I use all the time is this docking station. So, like, if you don't have a good docking station for your laptop, you are really missing out because this is everything. And I really like this one. I like the brand Anchor. Just because like I'm a fan of the brand. I think it's a good brand. And then this has like literally everything I need. So it's got a micro SD slot, an SD slot. It's got, my HDMI for my monitor. It's got, several USB-C ports and USB whatever it was before ports.
USB-A.
Yeah. I was like, what was it?
We skip B.
We
don't have
B.
USB-B.
Yeah, it's
just
fine.
skip B.
Yeah, so like it's got all the ports that I need. I have like a speaker plugged into it. So all I have to do is just plug my laptop into one cable and it's charging it and it's got all of my peripherals attached like immediately. So docking stations are where it's at.
So this says triple display. Does it like really support 3 monitors, or do you have to use Display Link or something like that to download, or is it just built in?
Yeah, so there's those 2 HDMI ports, and then there's a Display Link port. So if you technically have, like, you would have to have a Display Link port to get like 3 additional monitors. But
the device natively will drive it. You don't have to install software to drive it. Okay.
Nope.
Because that's some of the things it says it does 2 or 3 monitors. It really doesn't. You have to download an additional piece of software.
Yeah. Nope.
Hello, MacBook Air. But like MacBook Air only supports 1 monitor.
Oh, interesting.
Well, you got to buy the Pro.
Yeah, no, it's just plug and play.
You have to buy the Pro to get more than one. And then if you don't, you have to install something else on it. But if it has Display Link built into the device, it'll work.
Yeah.
We use a different port here that doesn't have that built in. And it specifically says it doesn't work with the MacBook Air unless you install this piece of software. So,
oh, yeah, bummer.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I use the CowDigit TS4.
CowDigit, TS4s.
MacBook
Yeah.
Pro. It's the same. It's the CowDigit version of this, basically.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, like, because I have a Windows computer, so my charging cable is USB-C. So, like, literally, I plug one cable in and it's charging and it's, like, got all my peripherals.
Yep, that's exact. Yeah, it's the same too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely recommend. Yeah, because it is that one cable. It's nice to only have one cable for charging for everything. I don't use they do still have on the MacBooks, they still do have the MagSafe charger. I never plug that in. I never plug that. I don't know where that is.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It's
because
just
I don't
straight
have a
through
MacBook.
USB-C.
So, I know that had
it's just
that,
straight
like,
through USB-C.
charger.
Yeah. I never use it. Straight through USB-C, charges everything through the dock. Yeah, docks definitely recommend the dock. Yeah, 100%. Especially on a lot of like modern, like smaller computers now, especially because you're adding new ports as well. They don't often come with extra USB-Cs, and the MacBook doesn't come with a USB-A anything. Like, there's no USB-A at all on it anymore.
Oh, wow.
Like, if you want USB-A, you've got to have a dock.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. That's true even on like some of the studios. So you need to have a dock.
Yep. Yep. Okay, Bobby, what you got?
All right. So if you're hanging out your Christmas lights and you're plugging up all your cables and it rains and all your lights go out, there's a reason why. Electricity and water don't mix.
What?
So, yeah, you need to get these things. They're like $6. Go ahead and get you 6. So you have to get them by Black Friday because these things sell out over the weekend. Every year at Lowe's. But like basically you put a big, thick, your big 3-prong cable inside of it, close it off, makes them waterproof at the connections. And that way your lights stay on through Christmas. So works great. Love it. And, you're not trying to wrap all your stuff in like Ziploc bags or something like that,
Yeah, that happened the first time I put lights around my house, and then I haven't done it since because, like, literally it just went, and I'm like, well, I guess I can't have lights. I don't understand.
Even
now you can.
Yeah. Even though when they say these are outdoor cables, if it rains, literally you can unplug these cables and turn them upside down. You can see the water running out of the connector, and it'll just cause a fault, and it won't work. And you're like, why aren't my lights working?
Yeah.
And so this will work fantastic, if you got a lot of extension cables, which is what you need.
Sure.
And they look way better than just wrapping them in duct tape.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about duct tape and other scenarios people use. Number one, it's impossible to get them off. It gunks up your cables.
Yeah.
And this is has rubber on the inside, and it doesn't mess with your cables either. So if you need to access them for whatever reason, you just flip off the things, and it opens up, put them back in.
These are
also, if you're
too.
pulling them around, it keeps them connected too. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, that is cool. Yeah. And cheap, $6.58 on Lowe's here.
Yeah, it adds up, when you got when you've gone straight Griswold, you're like, I need 30 of these. So,
I guess it's a good job they are only $6.58.
Full Griswold.
Okay, so that's it for this week's episode of the Not Know Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you want to send us an email, you can. Where can they send that email to, Sarah?
The Not Null Podcast at AOL.com.
That's right, AOL.com.
My favorite
Please
thing
drop
every
us a
week.
message. Please drop us an email, just like Greg did last week, and we may read it on the show. One other thing, if you could leave us a review somewhere, if you have that as an option on Spotify or on Apple or wherever you listen to us, if that's an option for you, if you could leave us a review, that would be amazing. If you could share the podcast with somebody, that would also be great. It helps us to grow and keep making these and doing great. And
Make Kevin's dreams come true for top 100 tech podcast.
I'll take top 200. I'll take top 500 if we could read it.
I just want another email from Greg.
Right.
That's it. Thanks, Greg. We'll catch everybody later. Bye.